Hi Sagittarius, this is Mimi with Divination by Mimi. Welcome to your January 1st through the 15th, 2018 tarot reading with a little bit of astrology and oracle guidance if necessary. So it's already 2018. Happy New Year. Quickly, some astrology. Wee bit about you. You are a mutable, meaning you're flexible and adaptable, and you're a fire sign, and you rule the ninth house. Ninth house is about education, higher education, expansive education, travel, borders, um, the higher learning, learning for the sake of learning, of expanding one's horizons. Your ruling planet is Jupiter and a very expansive energy. Zeus, basically, the sky god. A lot of there's one astrologer that I love. She calls him, I think she calls him Santa Claus. Yeah, he's the cosmic. I think she calls him a cosmic Santa Claus. Her name's April Shaley. She's got Astrology by April. I've got her linked in my recommended or check out some wisdom section on my first page, my home page of this channel. She's great. She's funny, and I'm going to do a shout out shout out video for all the channels that I recommend and why. I just find them really informative. They help me a lot, and they're fun. Blah. Anyway, yeah, your ruling planet is Santa Claus. He gives so much, but he also promises a lot too. So make sure that you don't. It's an energy to do more, be more, express more, consume more than you actually can handle, do, share, give, or take. Makes sense. And a fire sign as well. So you're very much an expansive, educational, learning, higher knowledge energy. Definitely about truth seeking. Okay, so you definitely, Sagittarius is a truth seeker on a big, expansive scale. So world travel, learning about other cultures, things like that. And positive energy. And fun at parties. Love Sagittarius. Fucking funny people. Okay. In your constellation at the moment, we've got Mercury. Now, Mercury's fast and mercurial planet, so it will be in there for a bit and moving on to Capricorn. It's just its nature. But it is outside of the retrograde, but it's probably in the shadow period through, I think, approximately the 11th. So you still might have little snafus or misunderstandings. Just try to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Double check what you're about to say before you say it, or send in an email or message. Make sure you understand what you're saying before you send it, so that the likelihood of someone else understanding is good. Big aspects occurring for all of us. So the 1st of January, there is a full super moon. It's a wolf moon in the 4th house at 11 degrees of Cancer. Cancer rules the 4th house. Cancer, the crab, is about the shell, right? The shell is the home that the crab carries on its back. So it's about home, security, the mother instinct, family, love, relationships, intimate relationships, nurturing. So very motherly energy, and home, comfort. Okay. In that sign is a full super moon at 11 degrees. 11 is relevant because it is numerologically the master number of service. And it's not service like I'm going to go out and take in your groceries, ma'am. It's more like I'm in math class and I don't understand the question, so I'm going to ask the teacher. And in my asking the question, the rest of the class will learn from what I've asked and what is told to me as an explanation. I hope that makes sense. So that's what I mean by kind of an indirect service to others. There's an interesting and a beautiful water trine with a couple of different aspects occurring in it. So we've got a water trine with the emphasis on Mars in Scorpio, and that Mars energy is about I think it brings a heightened sex drive, but also an impetus to make things happen as it relates to relating. So this trine occurs with Venus, Neptune, the moon, and I'm talking about Mars at the moment in Scorpio's constellation. So this would be about taking that first cardinal initiative step of, after a long time, let's say you've been dating the same person, you decide, I'm going to take the plunge and ask her or him to marry me. Okay. Or on the same note, boy, she really gets on my nerves. You know what? I've had enough today. I'm out of here. It's that kind of thing as it relates to relating, making that change. And on another note, with the Neptune part of it, Neptune being kind of a dreamy spiritual energy, ruler of Pisces, the 12th, the final house of the constellation. It is about spiritual downloads. So if you want to think of it in Jungian terms, these archetypes that we see used repeatedly from culture to culture around the world throughout history as it's been recorded, these archetype symbols and signs that we've seen repeated, that collective unconscious that holds all of that, you could call it the Akashic records, all those experiences before, after, never happened, are about to happen, could happen, might have happened, in alternate dimensions, all that confusing shit about living in a multiverse. All of that is going to be totally downloadable. The cloud, the access to that cloud in the sky is very, very clear the first week, particularly the day of the 6th, Saturday. But definitely the first week, you'll feel, you'll dream, you'll see symbols. So as an example, you might ask yourself, why do I always see a Superman archetype? Or why do I always see a Loki archetype? Why do I always see a Batman archetype or a Catwoman archetype? I'm throwing out superheroes for a reason. They're common pop culture, but they represent archetypes that repeat through history, through cultures, throughout time. Why am I seeing this anti-hero repeatedly shown to me? Why am I seeing oranges? Why am I dreaming of crows? That kind of thing. This is the time to not only listen, watch, and feel for what's happening in this information and these downloads from the cloud, the spiritual cloud, but also try to make sense of it. So I have taken the step, because I've had some wicked ass dreams right around the last couple of weeks, and definitely recently, last couple of days. I've kept a dream journal. I used to keep one nearby, but not like next to my bed. Damn it if I'm not keeping it next to my bed, because I am seeing some really interesting stuff that's relevant. Very, very relevant. Stuff that's not like, oh, spacey, wow, I dreamt of a frog wearing pantyhose and high heels. What the fuck does that mean? No, it's like relevant stuff that you're like, oh, wow. That's why my mother, my mother and I didn't get along. That's that kind of relevant stuff. So pay attention. It's going to be there, and try to process it. Be ready for it. All right. There are 2 other lunations. There's another full supermoon in Leo at the end of the month, January 31st, and that is not only a super full moon, blue moon, but it's also got an eclipse attached to it. So there's all that happening. So 2 full super moons, one with an eclipse, and then also a new moon in Capricorn on the 17th. So, and one more aspect I'll get into, but just a lot of astrological activity this month. So most of it positive, particularly the first portion of the month. The 2nd of January is the one I'm about to mention. So this is for Uranus. Uranus is it's the rebel of the zodiac, the change agent. Okay, that can be something that's perceived as good or perceived as bad. It's a revolutionary, progressive ideology, but it definitely is about change, possibly sudden and erratic and uncomfortable change it can be. So I'll give you an example of uncomfortable. It can manifest itself in natural disasters. Okay. It can also manifest itself in revolution. So an example of it for that might be the move for independence in Catalonia right now. Or the J20 activists and their trial that they're going through, right now. So it's been in retrograde in Aries. Aries is the first house. It's about the assertion of the will of the individual, the I am, okay? And it's fire. And it feeds the air quality of Uranus. And it's been in retrograde. So imagine how frustrating that is for the rebel and the change agent with all this crap going on politically right now, when it wants to get out there and help the collective through revolution. If it's being fed by fire, but it's also going backwards, right? How frustrating in retrograde. Well, on the 2nd, it goes direct. So don't be surprised if on the 2nd forward through the rest of the month, particularly the first couple of weeks, you don't see an increase in activism, an increase in revolutionary activity. Just unexpected, jarring, revolutionary, progressive updates, changes. It doesn't like things to stay stagnant. So if that means a natural disaster, that could be something related to it. Not trying to be negative, but that is a change. It's an agent for change, and that is a change when Mother Earth has had enough of, I don't know, strip mining or pipelines, fracking. She'll take so much and then she's like, oh, screw this, you're going to pay. Or it can show itself in mass protests. How beautiful would that be right now, right? So it's a good thing. It's just possibly an uncomfortable thing. So be prepared for it. And you might be a lot of surprises like, what? Okay. And I think that's all I want to say about the astrology. So let's get into your reading, Sagittarius. Using the Thoth or the Tahuti deck, doing a 4-card pull based upon some issue in your life. So you may be feeling stuck in some area of your life, lacking focus. After the holidays, that's not uncommon. You may have a specific situation in your life, a frustration or a happiness that maybe is the highlight of your life right now, and you're wanting maybe some illumination on it. So that first card is that situation that you're in, what you're sitting in right now, and is obviously at the forefront of your mind. And again, this is a general reading. It may not sit with everybody, so if it doesn't, it wasn't meant for you. The first card represents that situation. The second card represents the positive aspect of that situation. The third card represents the negative or potentially negative aspect of that situation. And then the final and fourth card is the overall advice for the situation. Okay, so this is for Sagittarius for January 1st through the 15th, 2018. Holy Hecate, Cosmic Soul, Creatrix of the Universe, Mother, God, Guide. What does Sagittarius need to know? What illumination needs to occur in a situation in their life? What's the situation they're concerned about or they're sitting in at the moment? What's the energy around Sagittarius for January 1st, 2015? No, January 1st through the 15th, 2018. Sagittarius, mutable fire, ruler of the ninth. Thank you. Now, there's going to be quite a few here, so what I'm going to do is take these and seek further. Can I get a root issue that's going on with Sagittarius, mutable fire, ruler of the ninth house for January 1st through the 15th, 2018. Thank you. 3 of Wands, virtue. This is the sun in Aries. Both fiery energy, both passionate energies. One is fixed and one is cardinal or an initiator. So this is an impetus to change for sure. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is the man who is looking out on the bay, waiting for his ships to return. So it's 3. It's kind of like when you're going up a flight of stairs, that landing that you hit, that's the 3s. It's a time to stop, take a look, reassess until we move on to the next level, okay? With virtue here, you're sitting in a situation that looks as though of kind of some success, feeling a little bit more comfortable in an endeavor or a project that you've started. You're feeling confident in your abilities in this project. You're feeling, or if it's a relationship, you know, confident in your place in the relationship. So this is very good. This is a very balanced, even though it's an odd number, it's a very balanced energy that can propel you to the next level of the 4s of stability. It's not necessarily a resting point, but it's a time of reassessing. And this looks more than a personal relationship. This looks a little bit more like a project. Maybe it's a career. Now, a positive aspect to this is and this is great, this is the Eon card, which replaces the, the Judgment card in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This is pictured with Horus, or Heru, the Kemetic god, a sun god, which is a Christ god. It's a new era, basically. The Thoth deck emphasizes more that it's a new era, the era of Heru or Horus, the era of the sun, the child of the archetypal male and the archetypal female. Okay, so the positive aspect of this is, 1, it's major arcana. This is part of a life lesson for you, Sagittarius. This space and time that you're in where you're feeling the confidence of success of your first endeavors in career or creative project. Okay, but stay focused and stay tuned, because the positive aspect is this is big. This is life changing. This is something that will take you further in your life. It is, it's karmic for sure. It's karmic lesson for sure. Big life stuff. But it's also like transformative. It's cycle renewing. It's cycle ending. It's ushering in eras, new periods in your life. So, for example, if this new creative endeavor is particularly lucrative, this could be ushering the positive aspect of that. It could be that it's ushering in an era of abundance versus lack. That makes sense. A negative aspect. Okay, you've got the Victory card, which is the Six of Wands in reverse. Right? Do I have that right? Yeah. Victory, right. This is Jupiter in Leo. So Jupiter, your ruling planet, is used to fire, but it's in Leo. Leo's ruled by the sun, and it's a fixed sign, whereas you're mutable. So it can be frustrating. Although it's positive, if you notice, there are 6 wands of various levels of adepthood, 3 of each, right? Adepthood in the various magical systems. But although there is a relaxed quality, so in other words, the expansive energy of Jupiter in Leo is good because the positive, creative, expressive energy of Leo is only exacerbated by the creativity of, the creative energy and expressiveness of energy is only expanded and exacerbated by the expansive energy of Jupiter in that sign. But you got this in reverse. So the low octave of this can be too much too soon, handling too much, taking on too much, because it's Jupiter in Leo, possibly promising too much. And I think I mentioned this earlier, that there's this concept of Santa Claus, the cosmic Santa Claus, Jupiter. The downside of that can be promising the world and really not being able to deliver. So it can be an over promising. So make sure you are not overextending yourself. Okay, make sure you're keeping a good harmonious balance. We'll get to the advice now. Oh, you got the Samech, or the Capricorn card, the Devil card, but you got it in reverse. This is the Saturn card, really, not the biblical devil, but the Saturn card, which is about the manifested world. It's the Capricorn card. You can see the Saturn rings around the top of the phallus, top there. It's about how we go from here, the thought, to here, the physical thing. How things move from Keter or from Aminasur to Geb or to Malkuth. How does it become manifest? There's a discipline needed for that, and Saturn loves discipline. This is definitely Saturn's card. You got it on the low octave. So I think what this is telling me is, and I'll get clarification on that Saturn card. Because of this warning here, or negative aspect to this situation, that there might be a tendency to really just like go full force without balance, I believe you're being asked here to maybe release some old concepts of what it means to work hard. I think it's asking you here to work smarter, not harder. Hope that makes sense. Okay? I'll get clarification to make sure I'm barking up the right tree there. Oops, sorry. For Sagittarius, Holy Hecate, Cosmic Soul, Great Mother. What do we mean here for overall advice? Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so you got the Three of Swords, mental energy. And it's a self-defeating mental energy. This is the Heartbreak card, no doubt. See, a heart in the rain being pierced by 3 swords, major downer. But because it's swords and it's mental energy, and we're talking about how your concepts about working and what does it mean to be disciplined and what does it mean to manifest something from an idea to an actual physical thing, I think it's asking you to take a look at any limiting mental beliefs that you have. Now, that seems like contradictory advice because I'm telling you to be careful of the overextension of Jupiter, of promising the world, right? But I'm also telling you to open your mind and not restrict yourself. So it's really a balancing act you're being asked to look at here. You're being asked to, I think the overall message here is to work smarter, not harder. And to do that, you need to really reassess how you conceptualize manifestation. How do you conceptualize working towards success? What do you think discipline is? And are you doing it the smart way? I mean, it's great to go, I don't know, doing a workout or running uphill or what have you. But if you're doing it to the point where you're working cardiovascularly, anaerobically, I think you're getting to the point where you're actually depleting. It's not, I'm sorry, I'm not really good at that kind of thing. But I remember hearing at one point, if your heart rate goes a certain point too high, you're working anaerobically, which means deduction of oxygen to the muscles or something like that. In other words, you're working harder, not smarter, right? But here you're being asked to work smarter, not harder. I hope my analogies didn't fuck that up. Work smarter, not harder. Consider how you think about work. What does it mean to work? So that you can achieve these goals without hurting yourself, without putting a stress on your life. Although this is life-changing, absolutely it is, and you're definitely in the right direction. It's happening. It's successful. So keep doing what you're doing. Just don't overextend yourself, and make sure you're working, initiating this manifestation, working smart. All right, I hope that helped. It's clear to me. If I don't think it needs any further clarification, but if you have questions on it, Sagittarius, again, this is general. If it didn't sit with you, it wasn't meant for you. This seems pretty specific. Again, if you have questions on it or comments on it, leave it in the comment section below. If you'd like to book a personal reading, something that is specific to you, feel free to email me at mememes@hotmail.com. You'll find that email address in the description box below the video. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If it didn't resonate with you, it might resonate with another Sagittarius friend or partner. With all the things occurring astrologically right now, we can use all the downloads and information we can get, so it might help someone else. If you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you did. It's always nice to have a growing family. Thank you to those who have booked readings with me. It means so much that you've trusted me to be part of your life in this way. And I think that's it. So, Sagittarius, I will see you for the lunations. Elsewise, I will see you for the second half readings, the reading you'll have for the 15th through the 30th. And then I'll see you next month. Enjoy and Happy New Year, Sag.